This is All Out Politics coming up between now and midday. Black holes and revelations. The Conservatives say there's a £58 billion gap in Labour's spending plans. The Prime Minister and Chancellor have just given a press conference justifying their version of the numbers, as new figures also show the number of unemployed falling by more than 50,000. Also today, we'll look ahead to the Liberal Democrat manifesto launch at noon. The EU's Brexit negotiator says there's no intention for the UK to end up with no deal. And did the American president ask the FBI to drop an investigation into one of his advisors? Good morning. Welcome to the second hour of All Out Politics. News, debate and opinion from the heart of Westminster. And in the last few minutes, the Prime Minister has been speaking about Labour's manifesto launch yesterday, saying that Labour's sums just don't add up.
Our economic progress has been dearly won and could easily be lost if the wrong policies were pursued in the years ahead. It is frankly all at risk. Any party which asks the British people to entrust to them the responsibilities of forming the next government through the crucial years of our Brexit negotiations and beyond must demonstrate that it has the credible economic plan and the capable team to safeguard our economic security.
Well, Sky's Beth Rigby is covering the Conservative campaign, and she joins me now live from Canary Wharf. Beth, we haven't had too many of these news conferences during the campaign. What did we learn from this one? In particular, it struck me that Mrs May was pulling faces when you were asking your question.
Yes, Adam. Well, what can we take away from this? I think there's a couple of things. The first one is on the pulling of faces. I did ask her about a question that was put to her yesterday, actually, at a Screwfix factory from a worker, a man called Zia Karim. He earns £300 a week. He asked her twice about the cost of living. He's worried about it, and so he should be, Adam, because inflation is now running at 2.7%, while the average weekly earnings, we found out earlier today, are now running at 2.1% in the 3 months to March, which tells us people are feeling a squeeze on their living standards. Now, the Prime Minister did acknowledge when she answered Mr Karim that there was a fluctuation in the currency. That obviously has been exacerbated or even caused by Brexit. This is what she had to say to him in that exchange. I think this is what she said to me about it when I asked her whether there will be a squeeze on living standards until Brexit is complete.
If I may, Beth, I didn't actually say that Brexit was responsible for the troubles that he had. I did say that we had, of course, seen an impact on inflation from changes to the currency over the last few months, and that, as everybody knows, we're going to a negotiation on Brexit over the next 2 years, and the final deal, that special relationship, special partnership that we want to build with Europe, will be for those negotiations. There are two ways of looking at the impact of cost of living for people. I mean, one is our desire to ensure that people are in work and that we see our economy generating higher paid jobs. That's what we want to see. But if you're going to do that, you've got to make sure you have a credible plan to build on the strength of the economy and not destroy it with the sort of policies that we've seen from the Labour Party yesterday in their manifesto. And then on the other side of the equation in terms of cost of living, of course, we can help people in certain areas, and that's exactly what we're doing and proposing to do in terms of energy costs, which, as you know, the CMA said that the energy market, that customers of the biggest 6 suppliers are paying £1.4 billion more a year than they would if the market was truly competitive. And that's why in government we would take action on that.
Philip Hammond, her Chancellor, then went on to say that these were just passing through currency fluctuations, and he insisted that wages would continue to rise. But the issue here is this is a Prime Minister who claims to be a PM for working people and to have a deal for workers. And actually those on low and medium incomes are going to feel the squeeze from stagnating wages and rising inflation. And she didn't have an answer on that today, and we will be waiting to see what more she can offer people in the manifesto when that's published, we think, tomorrow. The other thing, Adam, my other takeaway from this is this was meant to be a joint press conference, a united front between the Chancellor and the Prime Minister. And yet what really happened was, following remarks made by Philip Hammond earlier today about tensions, asked about tensions between number 10 and 11, he described it as tittle-tattle. The Prime Minister was asked twice if she would endorse her Chancellor beyond this election, and twice she refused to do so. The first time she just said she was focused on the election. The second time she said that they'd worked together for years, and she said that was about their age, not about anything else, and made a joke of it. But no doubt people will be picking up on this question of ongoing tensions between number 10 and 11. And this, Adam, is a really serious issue, because in the City of London, they see Philip Hammond as their man in government that is going to mitigate a hard Brexit. They will be very nervous if he ends up shoved out of number 11 post this election.
Beth, thank you very much indeed. Well, the